The Curse of Oak Island is ending. Season 7 is ending on Tuesday night, and they are highlighting the discoveries that they have made which dovetail with Francis Bacon. And that is wise because everything they're pulling up out of the ground as far as dendrochronology dating is pointing that direction. The hand-hewn oak beams, those are all anywhere from 1650 up to the early 1700s, a good few decades prior to the first discovery by McGuinness. What puzzles me, and I am a firm believer, based on evidence, that the Templars were there as well. Dr. Ian Spooner, dated organic material in the swamp to 1220 AD. And also, in the 90s, there were carbon dating results from the coconut fibers from the 90s. And that's on my website, in my blogs. So what do we make of that? And I still have a funny suspicion that the Nolan cross is actually Templar of 1200 AD. And the reason why I keep saying that is it is more than likely that that Oak Island present had been two islands. Also, what was recently discovered is a canopy oak root system that was dug up, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can get an accurate dating for that. But that was discovered in the swamp, and of course it would have killed the tree. So that suggests that the oak predated the swamp. That's my suggestion. And back to the Nolan cross, I kind of jumped ahead. The reason why I think that the Nolan cross goes back to 1200 rather than being tied in with the triangle that became the swamp and the eye is that on the western island you've got the two lower stones in a straight line of sight. Everything was line of sight in surveying and in building and in architecture. It had to be. So that line of sight created by the two lower stones takes you right across the water to the main feature of that cross, which is the headstone, the skull stone, which of course I go into in some of my blogs as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where they take that. What that means at this juncture, I'm not sure. Is it possible that the Nolan cross had to do with Gold River that Zena Halpern highlighted? And Gold River is named because gold had been extracted there. So that's potential. Gold River is on Nova Scotia proper, just off of Oak Island. So it's possible, but I'll have to look into that. And it's possible that the sword that's carved onto the headstone is actually a hidden compass. The medieval compass, the right angle, were all used in medieval construction, and the plumb bob to get a level. So these medieval techniques to raise mighty cathedrals and castles and fortresses were also used on the landscape to join surveying marks to potentially lay out buildings, but to also hide messages in the landscape. So I hope this all makes sense. So, we have to go with the dating. It's possible that the new information that's coming out of the ground that may be indicating Francis Bacon of Queen Elizabeth I's court hid Shakespeare's volumes there, along with other sacred relics and treasures. But here's an interesting possibility, and I've got no proof of this because they have not pulled out of the ground any wooden support structures that date to the 1200s, at least none that they're willing to share with us. Is it possible, and this is just a question, is it possible that the Templars did inter something on Oak Island and that Queen Elizabeth's court came and redeposited, rebuilt, shored up the structure that was already there? The other possibility is that Portuguese Templars may have been there in the 1400s and perhaps we're checking up on the depository that was done in 1200. So I don't know at this juncture whether or not there was a vault created in 1200, but there certainly seems to be above ground work was going on during that time, which would have been Templar proper. And of course, the Rochefoucalds were involved, and I will be creating a new project. I've been working on it for this summer that will encapsulate what I discovered in my 2 trips to France in 2018. Both to Rochefoucauld Chateau and also to Talmont Castle further south. And of course the Templars were in both locations. So I look forward to sharing that information with you. I will be creating a new book here in the near future. And in the months to come, I will continue to research the site in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin site is getting more interesting as the weather warms up. And the man who discovered the site continues to communicate photographs with me and thoughts on his discovery, and combined with my own knowledge over the years in architecture of medieval building techniques and carvings, Templar, Masonic, going forward. So anyway, I'm just putting out a lot of thoughts here today, unscripted thoughts, things that have been rattling around in my mind. So I apologize for the perhaps lack of continuity. And of course, I've got the shelter in place here that we all have, and really pleased to be here with my mother, helping her, and being supported by my family here as well, communicating with my father and his wife. As far as the Wisconsin site is concerned, it's been a real joy to have that connection to both my parents, sharing my research with them, getting their insights on what's happening on Oak Island and in Wisconsin, and looking forward to releasing my next volume on my research on Oak Island that's directly related to Zena Halpern's map. So I'm waffling on far too long here, so I will draw a line under this. Looking forward to the season finale. Also a little sad that we won't get to see the weekly Bobby Dazzler come out of the ground. And it's all exciting to myself as somebody who cares deeply about history. Each piece that comes out of the ground means that somebody put it there, lost it there a very long time ago. And this is rewriting North American history and European history completely. And that they were in close alliance and partnership to the Native Americans that were on the ground when Templars arrived, Vikings arrived, when Portuguese Templars arrived, when pirates were there. And on both sides of the Revolutionary War, the Mohawks sided with the British, and I believe it was the Mohicans sided with the American Revolution. So, and of course, unfortunately, there are times that they were at war with each other. But that's humanity for you and human beings for you. So we all get twisted up when resources get a bit tight. So we all get easily offended sometimes and decide that something is ours, whether it is or not. So I do think that the Templars could not have achieved as much as they did in North America without the Native American alliances that I highlight in my most recent book, The Templar Quest to North America, a photojournal. So I'll communicate more with you as I shelter with my mother as the months roll on. Enjoy the season finale and look after yourself. Stay strong, stay safe, and look after yourself. And whether you're at work or not, may you be well. May you be well if you're at home. May the Force be with you. May your God go with you. May your Creator go with you. Love, light, and blessings.